Most of us carry a quiet assumption about what a healthy spiritual life looks like. We expect it to feel peaceful, clear, and deeply secure. By that logic, any experience of sudden anxiety, clinical depression, or the urge to abandon your life signifies a failure of faith. Take the biblical story of Jonah. When a massive storm hits his ship, he is found in the hole, fast asleep. This was a psychological shutdown, the specific weight of a clinical depression triggered by the burden of his calling. Even a global icon like Mother Teresa lived this reality. Behind her public devotion, she endured a 50-year dark night of the soul, marked by a profound sense of divine abandonment. Her personal letters reveal the extent of the isolation. She wrote of a convicting emptiness that made her thoughts feel like sharp knives, leaving her soul feeling thrown away, unwanted, and unloved. What if these moments of darkness are completely misunderstood? What if these psychological fractures are the actual point of contact for a divine encounter? Psychologists John Bowlby and Mary Ainsworth established that our methods for processing separation and distress are biologically hardwired in early childhood. This is attachment theory. Their studies of infant-parent separation identified distinct coping styles. Children develop secure patterns, anxious coping patterns, or avoidant patterns that stay through adulthood. This early wiring creates the boundary between doctrinal knowledge, what we are taught about God, and experiential knowledge, the way God actually registers in our nervous system. Anxious attachment manifests as a preoccupation with abandonment. These individuals constantly worry if God loves them, requiring intense emotional proof. Avoidant attachment manifests as a resistance to intimacy. This person feels uncomfortable with affection, keeping the divine at a distance. A sense of divine distance is rarely a theological failure. It is your human biological framework processing survival. God meets us inside that physiological wiring. This clarifies why we feel a sudden, intense urge to run away or procrastinate the moment a calling becomes real. Ignatian spirituality identifies this internal pushback as a key spiritual movement. The core Ignatian principle is that God is present in the resistance itself. Think of it like physical friction. You cannot experience resistance unless two objects are actually touching. The pushback proves the contact. Jewish mystical traditions offer a similar radical perspective. They treat overwhelming doubt and internal urges as an elevated, active process of faith. Hasidic thought describes this as Yerida Litzorek Aliyah, a descent for the purpose of ascent. In the Isbitzer school, even forbidden urges and crushing doubts act as divine communications, forcing the soul to look past conventional rules. The philosopher Simone Weil developed the concept of the void. She believed that God's apparent absence creates an empty space that requires disciplined, attentive waiting. By refusing to fill that emptiness with easy answers, the silence itself becomes the purest form of divine presence. The friction, the creeping doubt, and the terrifying silence provide the necessary scaffolding for the soul. These are the pressure points where the divine forces us to evolve. For centuries, religious traditions have focused on suppressing doubts, a practice called iskafia. But the objective is ishapsha, transforming that exact same energy into a catalyst for growth. You do not need to fix your psychological wiring or force a feeling of peace. The divine operates precisely within your biological limitations and the attachments you formed as a child. The next time you feel spiritual anxiety or the desperate urge to flee, stop. Do not panic or shame yourself for the friction. This internal tension does not mean you have lost the path. It means you have finally reached the point